And that was one of the harder trails I've ever done in my truck. It was a difficult rated trail. I didn't know that. I thought it was fairly standard San Juan mountain four-wheeling, and I got super stuck on a snow drift. I put my little traction boards under the tires, and they were like, haha, yeah, you got to have something under your tires, Dingleberry. So that was cool.
All right. Well, what's today? Today's Monday, Memorial Day. So I took Wednesday. I got off of work at 4 o'clock. And I came home and ate some food and took a shower and packed my stuff. And I got in the car and I went to the airport. And, there's a sign when you go in the airport that says, cannot come in here unless you have a mask on. And there was only about 60% of the people in there had masks on. So I don't know how they do that. But then when you were getting on the plane, they said you have to have your mask on when you get on the plane and keep it on the whole time. And if you don't have one, we're going to give you one. And I was thinking, how did you get this far if you didn't have one on in the first place?
Well, because there's people in the world who are like, this is a hoax, this is fake, I don't need to wear a mask, I'm fine. So they're like just wandering around.
How do they let them in the airport, though? Like, if there's a sign that says you cannot come in here. Same at the grocery store. There's a sign that says you can't shop here unless you have a mask on, but there's no one stopping people.
That's the thing. There's no enforcement of it. Even the city of Durango put an order in Thursday in place that you have to wear a mask anytime you're in a business, anytime you're within 6 feet of other people. And then 5 minutes later, the city of Durango puts out a post on their Facebook. City of Durango Police Department says, we're not going to be writing tickets. We're just going to enforce via education. And it's like, why don't you just say we're not going to do anything about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's no like real law, you can't really give tickets or arrest people. But businesses should be able to make that choice whether they let people in. Like, I can't walk in there with my shirt off, or no shoes.
Yeah. Well, businesses can, but the airport's a public place. So
is it?
The airline itself is like, nope, you gotta wear this mask on the plane, otherwise get off the plane.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll show you. The airport is actually a public facility.
I guess I could see it that way then. If the individual airline is the business, you can't get into their business without it on, but the airport is not an actual business. But it is like a federally regulated thing, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I think a lot of places are afraid of getting their asses sued off because of all these orders. So they're just like, hey, you should put a mask on. And then you're like, no. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, so we were sitting there waiting for the plane. There was no power on the jet bridge, so they had to push the plane out and pull it into the next gate. So I'm like already like, oh, that's a good sign. So then, we watched Joker on the plane. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't. Is it awesome?
I don't know. I mean, I would say, or this is what I told Laura. It was a good movie that was well made, but we didn't see the whole thing. We had like 30 minutes left when the plane landed, and it was on their thing, so we couldn't watch it anymore. So we didn't see. We got like a half hour left to see, but up to this point where he becomes the Joker, I don't see why. Like, if they didn't say Gotham, I wouldn't have even known this was a Joker movie. It was just like a regular movie about a crazy guy.
Yeah.
But maybe it gets more Joker and Gotham later on that I didn't see yet. But I think it was pretty good. I don't know that I'd run out and see it, but if you can get it on Redbox or something, I'd probably watch it.
Yeah, I think I can get it on Amazon now.
So we saw that. We got off in Milwaukee. Actually, there'll be... I made a video. There's
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. There's... we took pictures and stuff up until... we took a time lapse with the GoPro all the way home. So it was like 16 hours of time lapse. The whole video is 9.5 minutes.
Whoa.
So it's pretty cool. I think it was pretty cool. I put some music on it. So that'll actually be out the week before this one comes out. So if you're seeing this, that one is already out. All right. So we went to Milwaukee. We went to a hotel. It was like midnight when we landed.
Yeah.
We got an Uber because the shuttle wasn't running that late. So the hotel paid for the Uber, which was cool.
That's nice.
The hotel was cool. It had a little kitchenette. It was a pretty nice one. It was a Staybridge Suites. I've
heard of them. Yeah.
Not a sponsor. Not wearing the right shirt. So that was pretty cool. Then in the morning, continental breakfast is a new thing you have to do, trying to keep people away from each other. So they had it all blocked off. You walk down there, you can't see what they have, and there's no like menu. The lady with the Mexican accent just has to tell you, and I can't understand what she's saying.
So we have the strawberries and the
so I heard like eggs and sausage. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Orange juice, coffee. Okay, good. But we got it. It was pretty good. It was corned beef hash and like an omelet that was just like a taco of eggs with cheese in the inside, but it was fucking good. I'd pay for that. It was good. So we did that. We left there. We got the shuttle. We went back to the airport. We got the rental car, which was a Toyota Corolla.
Oh.
Which was, I used the radar cruise control, and I hated it because I had it in North Carolina when I had that car, and it freaked me out because I never had it before. Like I didn't know what the car was going to do, but this car had it, and I used it a little bit. And it's nice because if you have the cruise set and you're coming up on someone on the interstate, it'll slow you down without you having to shut your cruise off or change your speed. And then when you can pass them or they get out of your way or whatever, the car just goes back to its speed by itself. And
that's cool.
I noticed how nice it was when we were driving my car back because my car doesn't have that. So I was constantly having to either shut the cruise off or try to turn the speed down. In my car, it's stupid. So like the turn the speed down and resume are the same button. So I could go like down, 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 and then wait a second to see if that's right. And then when I press down again, it'll resume it back to what I was. It's such a pain. So let's see. We drove from Milwaukee to Dixon, Illinois. Dixon.
Did you go to the Dixon Cider Company?
Yeah. I told Laura all those jokes. She didn't laugh at any of them. Unless she doesn't laugh out loud unless it's super, super funny or it catches her off guard.
Yeah.
So we dropped the car off. The dealer came and picked us up. We went there. The guy told me all about it. I took pictures. He had the engine still. So I took some pictures. I got one of the piston with a valve indent on it. The turbo end play was like, the limit is like 0.03 or something, and you can move it like click, 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 click.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And so I need to contact the warranty company about that because that's a different thing. I had to pay extra $2,000 for that. So anyway, I got a couple pictures of those, which is in the video. We got in the car. Oh, actually, we went to get in the car, and the battery was dead.
Ah, man.
So he had a little jump box. He jumped it. We got in the car. I drove out. Then I had to check engine light. So he took it back inside, read the code, and it was just low voltage is what they said. So I'm like, all right. Drove it to my parents' house. They got Sip and Snack the day before because Sip and Snack wasn't open Thursday. So
yeah, they free snip and snacked you.
Yeah. So my mom put the pizza in the oven and some chicken and fries. So it'd be nice and warm for us when we got there. We ate that. My dad came out and he was talking to me and I'm like, wait, you're walking around by yourself. He didn't have his walker with the wheels on it. He's just walking around by himself.
Awesome.
His body kind of seems pretty skinny still, but he's a little more filled out in the face than before.
Well, we just gotta get him some more Sip and Snack. He'll be okay.
Yeah. So he's doing well, it seems like. We
awesome.
went outside and walked around. He's got They got the garden in the back, and he's like marking out because he wants to build a big shed up closer to the house.
Nice.
So he's doing stuff. They got a new tractor. It's bigger than like a lawn tractor, but it's like a small real tractor with a
Like a
front
utility tractor or something.
Yeah, it's got front wheel assist. It's got a bucket front loader bucket.
Nice. What kind?
It's a
What kind
John
is it?
Deere.
Yeah.
I didn't see what size or anything, but I drove that around a little bit. Yeah, we just kind of looked around, and it looks really cool. Like, cause we always go there in November for the last 10 years, and at that time of year everything is dead.
Yeah, it's nice to see it greened up and pretty, and they're like, oh yeah.
I didn't think much of it, but man, it's freaking green now. I haven't seen it in a long time. So we left. I go to get some stuff out of the car there, and I see the bumper. The back bumper is cracked. It's like they backed into something and it cracked across the top. So then I took some pictures. I called them. He's like, well, the guy isn't here anymore. Call him back another day. So I wrote him an email with pictures. We left there and we took off. We went to Princeton to Walmart to get supplies, and then we drove all the way to Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is on the border to Nebraska. We stayed
I hate that.
we stayed at a hotel there. So that was Thursday night. So Friday morning we come out and we get in the car, and it cranks a little bit slow, but it starts, and I'm like, whatever. So we went from there like 10 miles to a grocery store to get some more stuff. And we come out and the car is dead. Just like click, 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 click. So I find this nice lady that pulls up in front of me and jumps the car. We jumped the car, but one of the clamps is broke off. So I put the wire on the battery and I clamped the wire to the battery terminal. So it started and we took off, and I only shut it off to get gas and started it again right away is all I did. But
Yeah.
we made it the rest of the way, but we had a dead battery, and I didn't know if I was going to have to get a battery or push start it or what. But so we got home at like around 6 o'clock Friday. And then Saturday I went and got a battery for $160.
Oh, batteries are so expensive anymore.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they charge for a battery.
But I wrote an email to the guy because I kept getting a check engine light, which was a evap flow inefficient or something.
Ah, crap.
But it didn't come back. I went to a liquor store yesterday before the race, and it wasn't on, and I didn't shut it off again. So
That could have been related to the bad battery, though. Bad batteries do weird things with codes and stuff.
yeah, it's possible. He said they had an evap code before, and they replaced the valve. So I was wondering if there was a different problem, but now that I got the new battery, it seems to be working fine.
Well, and even if you still have a problem, you should be able to take it to any Volkswagen dealer, and they'll be able to warranty the problem, I would think.
Yeah, I don't expect them to pay for the battery, really. I mean, that could have been going anyway, but
Yeah, that's just from...
I'm wondering about the bumper. If they're gonna see, I don't even know. That could have been like the tow truck guy could have done that, and it came in that way. So maybe they didn't even, it came in that way, so they didn't pay much attention to it.
Look at your paperwork, because a good service writer should have walked around that car and marked every nick, scratch, bump. Especially with how long it sat there, they should have marked everything, even if, something did happen or whatever. I mean, honestly, that looks like somebody pushed a car in with another car, if I had to guess.
There's two little indents. There's one.
License plate screws.
Maybe. They're about, I wonder.
They're
Now that you
about
say that.
8 apart, 7.5, 8 inches or whatever the license plate screws are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pushed the car in with another car.
Huh.
And they probably put a towel or something, thinking that would...
Yeah.
I hate people. I'm sorry. But I'm glad he made it back, and the car seems mostly in one piece, and the motor didn't throw a rod, so that's good.
Yeah. The clutch is a little bit loud, how those the single mass flywheels have that rattle, make the disc rattle a little bit. And it's not as bad as I saw a video of one when I was trying to figure out which clutch to get, and it was so bad. It sounded like something was inside the bell housing, just grinding up. But it's not that bad, though. You can definitely hear it a little bit. The as far as like the motor mounts and stuff, it was a little bit shaky or vibraty when you let the clutch out, but I'm getting used to the clutch now, so I can do it better.
Well, you put a little different clutch in there, and you did the motor mounts, you did the short throw and stuff, so you're going to have some differences.
That short throw is really tight. Like it's you really feel it go into gear. So I like that. I got the shocks and the springs too, the VW Raceline brand ones with like the tri-valve shocks or something. And honestly, I can barely even tell a ride difference. Maybe if I drove it like the day before and the day after, I could probably tell, but it's been a long time. And Laura's like, it feels fine to me. And I like it. We were definitely going around some on-ramps pretty quick and like with barely any effort. Like,
so like the day-to-day driving didn't change a whole lot, but when you get on it and get a little sporty, you feel a difference?
Yeah, I can. It's maybe I'm just used to driving the truck too, but man, I was going around those roundy rounds pretty quick, and it was just cruising through them like nothing.
It was like, all right, give me more.
Yeah, I like those. I mean, it didn't lower it a super lot, but I was looking at two different pictures of it, and you can tell it's like 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch.
Well, a lot of those German cars and stuff like that, they do really well with just that little 1/2, 3/4.
Yeah.
They really respond.
I didn't want it slammed or anything. I mean, I still got to drive it through the snow, so it's like just enough. Yeah. So that's what we did this week. That was my whole Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Well, it looks like a heck of a journey. I'm excited to see the time lapse. I haven't even seen the time lapse, so I'm gonna watch that.
I think it's pretty cool. It worked out pretty nice with that GoPro. I want to do something like that again, but that's not every day that I make a 15-hour drive across the country. So
in time, you'll find it. I mean, you got to go do some trips and stuff, and I like that idea. I'm gonna have to try that with my GoPro next time I go 4-wheeling and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I stuck it on the windshield, and I stuck it pretty good. I tried to like stick like the top side and adjust it while I'm looking at it in my phone, and I got it to a point where it's stuck, and I'm like, well, that's where it is forever. and it just happened to be really good.
Good.
So that was cool. We just had to switch the battery. The battery lasts like 2 hours on time lapse, so it shut off, and then we had to switch the battery, and that was all right.
Oh well.
What did we do Saturday? I can't even remember.
I don't know. I stacked a lot of brick. Oh, I got started in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Can I tell you my Iowa story?
Yeah.
So when I went to WyoTech, I wasn't much of a car person, like skill-wise, experience-wise. And so we were driving, though, and in Council Bluffs, Iowa, the transmission in my S10 locked up solid. I mean, not like, something weird. Like, we pulled off at a rest stop and looked under it, and there was oil all over it, front to back. And we're like, what the heck? I think we had like the rear seal or something replaced right before we left. I don't remember because that was like 15 years ago now. Mm-hmm. But something happened, and so my dad jumps in it, and he's like, well, there's a big town right here, Council Bluffs, Omaha. We'll limp it to town and get somebody to look at it. So we get like 2 miles past this rest stop in Iowa, and we're in the right-hand lane, just cruising, no big deal. And the transmission just boom. And the thing locks up solid at like 60 mile an hour. My dad slides it off onto the shoulder. It was gnarly. That transmission was toast. So I had to get a new transmission my first week of WyoTech. Then I wrecked that truck 6 weeks later.
Oh, nice.
I didn't wreck it. I got hit by a semi-truck, but the truck was wrecked 6 weeks later. It made me really sad.
Yeah, spend all that money on it, and then it gets destroyed like Just imagine if I go to drive to work tomorrow and I get hit by somebody and totals the car. I'll be like, are you serious? Did this just happen?
Yeah. You'll start murdering everybody. Yeah, that's basically, my folks were really cool at the time, and they got the transmission fixed. So we dropped it off at a transmission shop, and then we kept going because we had to be there for the first day of school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like July 4th-ish. So we went there. I think my folks got a one-way rental car in Laramie and drove back to Council Bluffs, picked up the truck, then drove the truck back to Laramie and got their car, which they left me because they couldn't put me in a rental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, you got to be like 20,
pretty freaking cool.
Be like 25 to get a rental or something like that.
I think you had to be 21. I don't know, but yeah, my parents they're pretty awesome, I gotta say. They saved my ass several times.
Oh, I know.
On that whole being experience.
I know the feeling. Yeah, every time I like get to a place where I'm like in a bind and I need like $15,000, something always happens where I come across some money for some reason, one reason or another, whether it's a workman's comp or whatever.
Oh man.
What was I? Oh, I saw the picture of you putting the brick on, but I didn't see it was you. Actually, the first one I saw, Laura showed it to me, and I don't know why, but I was looking. I think she was looking at NASCAR stuff or something, and then she showed me that picture. So I thought it was. I didn't know who it was. I thought it was a driver putting. I'm like, why are those guys working outside? And then I saw it on years later, and I was like, oh, that's what it was.
That's why, because I'm poor. Yep, that's why. Yeah, we did this retaining wall, and I'm about 25 bricks short, and they open tomorrow.
Your audio is like cutting out, and then I'm getting a word, and then it cuts out, and now I can hear.
There's probably a bunch of cars driving by, so it's really messing everything up. Hold on.
I can hear you talking now.
Yeah, there's a big truck that drove by or something. I'm outside, and I live right on the highway. It's like, see the highway behind me?
Oh, is that like an interstate or like a 2-lane highway?
Like a 2-lane. See, there's a truck. But framing, I was trying to just get the blue sky behind me and look cool, and not the highway. But yeah, so I'm about 25 stones short of getting it done, which is a little frustrating, but whatever. I'll get those Wednesday when they open. I work tomorrow, so.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I wasn't even sure if I had today off until I was leaving work Wednesday. I'm like, hey, wait, do I got to be there? Do I got to be here Monday? And he's like, nope. Okay. He's like, I don't think so. It's like, well, I'm going to plan on not going to work. So if I need to be here, let me know.
I need to be here. You better call.
But I didn't even know, like, we probably could have taken the Saturday, Sunday to go get the car and then be back today, but then that would have killed my whole weekend and I'd be pissed off all next week. So
yeah,
I still got a week. I don't know. I played Laura's mom came over for the race. So I started the charcoal yesterday and it started raining. So I put the lid like halfway over the chimneys because it was raining pretty hard after the charcoal started. So we cooked some corn and potatoes, and then I had to make some more charcoal because that took a long time, and it was raining on it, so it was all cooling it down. Yeah. So we had steaks and chicken and stuff, watched the race, and actually we watched the first stage. Like there was a rain delay.
Yeah, there was a pretty bad rain delay.
And then it came back on, and then they left, and then everybody went to bed. And then when I asked you if you were watching it, it was like 9 or 9:30 or something. Yeah. And I turned it on, and they were like the end of stage 3. They still had another stage to go. And I'm like, I'm not watching this whole thing. Plus, I don't have that Fox on my cable anymore. And I can't watch somebody else's because I can only watch like their sports, like their Fox Sports channel.
You can't watch.
I can't watch regular Fox on someone else's, but I can watch the fancy one on theirs. I don't know. But I found this website called Locast, which you're supposed to be able to watch. They're like a nonprofit that lets you watch local channels. But it
Nice.
keeps, it only lets you watch so long, and then it'll randomly like kick you off and say, hey, you should pay us $5 a month, and then you can have all this, which is cheaper than cable. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but this is the only time I'm going to watch this, is when I'm trying to watch one that's either on regular Fox or regular NBC. So I didn't pay him.
Yeah. I watched it on my antenna.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have cable.
We need to get an antenna, but we don't have a TV upstairs. We got this TV that I'm looking at now, but
Yeah.
this is only like a love seat here. So, and I don't know. It's just kind of a pain to watch stuff down here with other people around. There's not enough room down here. But yeah, I want to get an antenna.
I was watching it on the big TV, and then I was like, I gotta go to bed. When you were texting me, I was actually getting ready for bed. And then I ended up watching the end of the race. The end was pretty good. It got a little sporty. Until then, it was really boring. It's just such a long race. Everybody just kind of sits in there and does their thing. And Martin, and then he came to the pits, and he got back up to fourth, which I was actually amazed. He got back all the way back up to fourth because he was like 13th or something with 2 to go. They did a green-white checkered. It was pretty good. Who was it? Chase Elliott almost won. He almost won, and I think if he would have stayed out, he could have won, but he went into the pits and got 4 tires. It was like, you little dingleberry, and ended up Brad Keselowski, which I like him, and he's in a contract year anyway, and so it's good that he got a win, and hopefully he can stay in his ride next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I watched it till it kicked me off, and I'm like, I'm going to play a game and edit a video and do that type of stuff last night. And I don't know. We went to the park today. And we're doing this, and then I think we're just going to sit around and watch a movie the rest of the day or do something.
Yeah, kind of late, so I think whenever she gets up, she's still sleeping. We're gonna hang out for a little bit, and I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight, but probably eat some good food and hang out with the puppies. And I went 4-wheeling the other day.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I went up to Uray, and we made it all the way up Yankee Boy to the Twin Falls bathrooms, and they stopped plowing there, so we checked that out, took some cool pictures, and we went and had some lunch. Oh man, I had a burger that was so good. Hold on, there's a damn camper. Okay. It was like falling apart. Then we went to Golden Belt, not a sponsor, and had an awesome burger because Maggie's wasn't open. Maggie's has awesome burgers in Uray if you ever come down. And we went up Mineral Creek, which is the shortcut to Engineer from the south. And that was one of the harder trails I've ever done in my truck. It was a difficult rated trail. I didn't know that. I thought it was fairly standard San Juan mountain 4-wheeling, which are all actually pretty graded roads. And I got super stuck on a snow drift. Super stuck. So it was an avalanche debris pile, and there was a rock in the middle that we kind of knew about. And I was driving over it, and then I slid off to the side and got high centered. And I put my little traction boards under the tires, and they were like, haha, yeah, you got to have something under your tires, Dingleberry. So that was cool.
So
I had to get winched out.
Is it just sitting on like a skid plate underneath the truck, or? Yeah. Yeah,
I was stuck on the skids, just sitting there, and the tires were like touching snow, but not like in the snow, because it was getting pretty soft towards the end of the day. We were up there, I don't know, 3 o'clock. A group had gone up before us, but they had gone up at like noon, and everything was frozen, so they just went up and over this snow pile while I went in the snow pile.
Oh man, that sucks. If you get past it and you got to go back later in the day.
Yeah, so that was the other thing I was afraid of, because the group was still in front of us and they hadn't found the snow line up high. We were all going to try and kind of work our way as far as we could to Silverton, and thought we could make it, with how melted the trail was. Well, they made it over that, and they told us, oh, there's a snowbank, but you'll be fine. We're like, cool. And we get to the snowbank, and I try to go over it, and I get stuck, and I'm like, well, screw this. I'm going to turn around. So we winch out, and we use our radios and stuff while we're doing that. I get turned around, and the group behind us goes, yeah, we found the snowbanks up here. We're turning around too. When we were back to the bottom of the trail, they were like, yeah, we're coming back down. We're like, oh, well, I'm really glad we didn't make it over that, because we'd have to make it back over that.
Yeah.
Which that sucked. And we got down a ways. There's like, I don't know, probably 2 obstacles before we hit that snowbank. One of them was pretty decent. Not terrible. You just had to pick your line, get out and look at it. And, oh, okay, if I put my tire here, my tire there, we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We get down to it, and there's this guy in a Land Cruiser on like 37s and a big V8 coming up. And it's just before this shelf road where there's nowhere to go. Like, I couldn't pull over to get him by. So he's got to back into this one little spot. Well, while he's backing, he's like lifting the right front tire every time he touches the brakes, because he's not being smooth. He's like goosing the throttle, slamming the brake, goosing the throttle, slamming the brake. So this thing's like bouncing all over. We're like, oh, Jesus Christ. If he rolls this thing down the mountain, we're so fucked tonight. And he got it stopped, and we got one guy down the thing, down the little obstacle, and I got off far enough there where he could get around me, and then I went down the obstacle, and I was just like, man, you freaking Texan people are insane. Of course, Texas plates, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like four-wheeling, but a lot of the people you come across four-wheeling they take a different approach than I do, and I struggle with that. They just like beat on their stuff, and when it breaks or they can't get over an obstacle, they just beat on it till something breaks.
Yeah.
And I don't like to four-wheel like that. I like to build something, you know, I know its capabilities, and if I go, yep, not going to make it over that, I just turn around and go the other way. And some of these guys, man, they just mob on these poor trucks until something breaks.
Yeah, I can't afford to break my stuff.
No, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I saw that picture of it in the snow, and you had the traction boards down, and I was like, I think he's stuck.
I was super stuck. I could not move anywhere. Those little traction boards, I had them all wedged in there,
mm-hmm.
and like they would just run under the tires, like bloop, just shoot out. You know, if I put it in reverse, they'd shoot out forwards. If I put it in drive, they just shoot out backwards. And I'm like, that's not useful at all.
Yeah.
I couldn't put any weight on them to compact them into the snow at all, you know. The tires were biting, they're not very useful if you can't get them to bite to anything. And I was on a rock, you know. Some people on the forums were like, oh, you got to dig it out more. And I'm like, it was a freaking boulder under there, man. It's probably like 2 foot around. I'm not digging through that. Whatever. We had a winch. That's why you go with a buddy, and he just winched me back, and really wasn't even that hard of a winch pull, just enough to slide me backwards and get my tires on me again, and life was good.
Yeah. Did you use a snatch block?
Snatch block.
I watched a snatch block video a little while ago, and he had a Jeep, and he went like he hooked the snatch block on the tree, and then the winch went in this side, and then it came out this side, and then it went back to the Jeep. So you get double the pulling power. Yeah.
No, we didn't need that. We just did a little straight line pull, just really pretty short, pretty light pull. It wasn't anything, you know, difficult. Yeah. Just enough to get me out.
Yeah, I'd like to have one on my truck, and I'd like to have an air compressor on my truck, and I'd like to have a lift gate, though they look like crap, but it'd just be nice to have one. Like put my toolbox in there. Yeah.
You need a compressor and a welder and a winch and a lift gate.
Yeah.
And a service truck. Just make it a service truck.
Yeah. Just put a flatbed on, put all that stuff on there.
I have compressors on my truck that I'm working on. I got to finish wiring them, but my pneumatic stuff will be here Wednesday. Oh, excuse me. Some of it will be here Wednesday. I'm waiting on 3 more cylinders, like June 1st. So I got that new rooftop tent, right? And I put it on the truck, and it's awesome. The tent itself is so cool, but it's too low. I hit my head on it in camp. So I'm modifying the rack I built, and I'm building it with pneumatic cylinders so I can pick it up and walk under it.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that. I don't remember now. What was it? Your rack needed to be wider than
It needs to be
before.
like longer.
Longer.
Yeah. So it's wide enough. It just needs to be longer because the new tent is like 72 inches and the old tent was like 48 or like 56, excuse me. It's 48 by 72 and the old tent was 48 by 56. So I need to add, 18 inches or so to the rack. And I was like looking at it and I'm like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. And I had the tent up there, but I made my tailgate fold down to be like a kitchen area, like a prep area.
Oh yeah.
But I was hitting my head on the stupid tent. And the tent is actually designed to mount higher than I was putting it anyway. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to raise this up. I can attach my awning to the side of my raising platform. You can't see me. So the platform's here. I have an awning, and the awning needed to go up. And I was going to just put the awning on something that goes up and down. I was like, what if I put the awning on the rack and just make the whole rack go up and down and get the tent up so, I can walk under it. And then when I put the annex and everything on it, I can walk in there too. So I decided I'm going to make the rack go up and down. So I ordered pneumatics. I got some telescoping square tubing so I can pin it because I'm not going to just sleep on air cylinders and hope for the best. It's going to leak down. You know how that works. So, but I have telescoping steel. I have cross pins to hold it up. You can take the weight off the cylinders at that point. And, yeah, it should be pretty cool. My chair's squeaky. Can you hear my chair squeaky?
Mm-hmm. There were some hummingbirds flying around behind you earlier.
Yeah, they're all over there. That one's, I think, empty, actually. There's another one off that way, which looks like I'm pointing at that one, but I'm not. I'm pointing at that one. That one's got hummingbird feeder mix in it. Sugar water.
Yeah, we used to have one of those on the farm, and they'd come and fly around. And I was like, whoa, I don't know. I was little. I was like, those are cool.
We had like 15 the other night. We had like 15 of them out here. It was awesome. It was really cool. You should buy that house down the street, and then you could put hummingbird feeders out and have 15 hummingbirds at your house too.
Oh, I remember. What? I remember the the story I was going to tell before the story I told. So when was it? It was like Monday or Tuesday last week. The owner of my company was going to go to this guy who lived up north somewhere that had these shops just full of cars that he's been collecting. This old guy, he's like, I don't know, 60 or 70 or something. Anyway. Yeah. So he wanted to sell some of his cars. So the owner of our shop went up there and he took my manager with him along with some other people to pick out some cars and check them out and make sure they're not pieces of crap.
Yeah.
So they get up there and this guy, I don't know, he has just like multiple buildings full of cars, like probably a total of 50 cars. And they're like mint condition, either extremely low, like 12,000 miles or less, or perfectly restored cars. There was one that was like a 73 Ford something, which was not like, he said it wasn't the desirable year for that car, but it's like a Q code, which has like power disc brakes, power steering, power windows, power locks, air conditioning.
Q code, I remember, was power everything, like full option, right?
Yeah, and I guess all of them were like bench seat 4-speed cars if they had that option. So like that car, that Q code was a one of one. It was the only one ever made with all those options in that color or something like that. So the guy has like a $3 million airplane and he flies to Idaho or Montana or something somewhere to his like other house where he escapes to with his super hot secretary and his dog loves to ride in the plane. So
with a super hot secretary and his dog.
He's like she's like 20 years younger than the guy or something.
Oh,
But
she's like 20 years old. She's 20 years younger than us, probably.
he wants to buy this like more millions of dollar airplane that like flies itself or something. So they looked at all these cars and they were talking about it, and the guy that owns my company was like, well, what's your bottom dollar today, you know, for this one and this one and this one, the buy it now price or something, he said. So
yeah,
he said he's like, well, and he was talking about stuff and thinking about it and walking around, and he came back and he's like, well, on the books, I've got about, what did he say? $2.5 or $3 million worth of cars here. He's like, that's on the books, but the buy it today price, I'd let him go for like $1.5 million. and so the guy that owns my company was like, all right, I'll take them. I'll take them all.
All of them.
So he bought 50 cars for $1.5 million.
Oh my God.
Just like handshake, like, yep, I'll take it.
That's some stuff you see on TV, man.
Right? Laura's like, so he just had like that much money sitting around in a bank account somewhere. I'm like, yep.
He laid everybody off a week ago.
Yeah, I guess they're hiring some people, like not people back, but they're hiring for those, couple, 2, 3 more mechanics back.
That's good.
So I guess we're going to start getting those cars over at our shop, because the showroom that they have, the shop in the showroom where the mechanics shop is, holds like 50 cars, and it's full.
Yeah.
So he just bought another.
You can't put fucking rust buckets in there.
He just put another 50 cars, or bought another 50 cars. He has to find a place to put them. So a lot of them are going to come to our shop, and there's going to be a mechanic there to like go over them. And I guess they can't even show cars. Like if the car is in our shop, they can't even have it listed online for sale, because our shop isn't the dealer location.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of rules about it. If he needs something to store them, I got room right here.
Yeah, right.
And if he wants them like inside, he can build a building for me and store them inside, and I can restore them.
As long as he builds the building, he can put as many there as he wants.
Exactly. As long as he builds a little shop for me and a paint booth for you, like we can just be the remote operation.
There you go.
I told Anthony that when I left SGS, I was like, if you ever need a midway point for all these cars, coming from the Desert Proving Grounds to the Denver High Altitude Lab, you just let me know. I'm going to live out there, and we can figure something out.
That'd be
didn't call.
That'd be worth some money for those guys to find a place to, put some cars for, a few days or a week or something.
Oh yeah, and all these like Jeeps and Chevrolets and stuff that they go test in the mountains on these trails. Like, oh, you got a place right here. Let's go. He didn't call. I was really sad. He probably saw my videos talking shit about him a couple weeks ago, and he's like, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
I was going to call him, but now, no.
But we already got the paint. The paint side of the shop is full of parts, because we've got that Scout and all the Scout parts all like piled together. And then I've got that FJ Land Cruiser thing. All those parts are scattered around, and plus the 2 bodies, because they're all the way apart.
Yeah.
What else do we got over there? There's just there's so many parts that there's no room left over there. And then the other side has the other vehicles that are getting detail jobs, or the body guy's on the other side. So he's making a mess over there. We've got some room, but there's only a certain number of ways you can get cars in the shop and get to the showroom part and get them out and get all the way around to the paint side. So we can't go blocking up too much. We definitely don't have room for 50 cars unless we're going to take them outside every day, which I've had to do before. Take all the cars out in the morning.
Every car every morning and park them every night.
That sucks so bad, because
why is this car got scratched?
Yeah,
because we're moving them in here every day and every night. It's stupid.
And some of them don't have steering wheels, so you got to kick the tire to turn it, and that's
so my favorite thing. cars without steering wheels. You love those. That's your favorite kind of car in the whole world.
I don't even like it. Well,
one without steering wheel. That makes, especially if one of the tires is flat in the front.
Yeah.
That makes Corey so happy. I can't explain to you. If you want to buy Corey the perfect Christmas present, buy him a car with no steering wheel and no engine
and a flat tire.
And a flat front tire. Just one, not both, just one.
That what's that little green car? It's a little British car. It was a little tiny one. I painted the underneath the hood, but it didn't have a tie rod. And it connects both the wheels together. So, but it was small enough that I could put my hands, if I was on my knees, I could grab both wheels and roll the wheels to move the car and steer them as I was going. It was kind of hard to get it in the booth because when you're pushing it back, they both want to go out. Yeah. No, it sucks so bad moving those cars in and out every day and kicking the tire, and it hurt my knee, and it breaks your ankle if you hit it wrong. And
yeah, you're just asking for cars to get damaged doing that anyway. Like, you're just asking for stuff to get broken and scratched and holes in seats. Like, I remember one car at Terry's, like, somehow got a hole in one of the seats, and he was like, "Who sat in this with a screwdriver in your pocket?" And we're all like, "None of us." And he's like, "Somebody did."
We're like,
we were like,
"You did."
It's probably you. And it's just a stupid Scott Drake seat cover anyway. Just order another one for $40 and we'll put it on and nobody will know. Like, yeah, I get it's $40 and it shouldn't have happened, but like, you're just asking for that kind of stuff to happen when you're moving cars in and out every day.
I don't like getting in or driving customer cars anyway, because there's always something like if you shut the door wrong, it hits the quarter panel, or the window doesn't work, or the battery's dead every time. You don't know the secrets you got to pump the brakes before you use them. There's always something stupid, and then you damage it or something happens. So I don't even like getting in them if I don't have to.
Oh yeah. We dragged my neighbor's Toyota over here today. I'm looking at it for him, a Toyota truck. And we dragged it over the Bobcat because it doesn't run. That's my job. I got to get it running. And we go down this little hill, and I go to to hit the brakes to slow it down and keep a little tension on the chain, and they just go to the floor. I'm like, this is fun. And, I'm not used to the truck, so I'm looking for the e-brake. And on the Toyotas, it's on the dash, and it's kind of like a T-handle you pull.
Yeah.
I grab that real quick, and it has just enough to slow me down from hitting stuff. And I'm like, so we stop finally. He's in a Bobcat, so I can't really just be like, "Hey, stop for a minute."
Yeah.
And we stop finally, and I go, "Yeah, there's no brakes in this thing at all." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, there were brakes when I parked it." I'm like, I don't know, man. There's none now, so whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, or you pull those, you grab the T-handle and you pull it and the handle breaks off.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was waiting to happen. Luckily, that didn't happen. I was amazed because I was working on dropping it in gear. I jammed the clutch in and I was dropping it in gear and pulling the T-handle about the same time, hoping, if the T-handle didn't work, I could just drop the clutch and at least have something. But it was sketchy for a minute. I was a little sketched out.
Yeah, there's always something. If it's your own vehicle, at least you're used to where the brake is and you know how it works. But
yeah,
if you're in someone else's, it's just like, what? Wait, what do I do?
Oh, yeah. And I'm like pumping the brake, hoping to get something, and there's nothing. I'm just like, It was scary. I peed a little.
Pee's coming out.
It's coming!
What else did I do? Man, it's been a couple weeks since we did this. You'd think I'd be able to think of something. There was a guy that came and picked up his Corvette, so it was in there when I first started, and the other painter guy painted a hood and put on there. And then it comes back like periodically. It's like a early to mid, it's probably early 70s, I suppose, Corvette. And it's this awful gold color. It's like almost a gold green color, but it has like, I don't know if it's a crate engine or what, but it's like a 5 or 6 or 700 horsepower. I don't know if it's I have no idea what it is. Anyway, it's a built engine. I didn't really care because anyway, so I didn't ask any questions, but he came and got it the other day. Oh, I know what he did. Somebody at my shop put a master cylinder in it, and it worked, and it's fine. And he drove it the other day, and he was going like 110, and he goes to push on the brakes, and it just goes to the floor. So he's just using the e-brake to get around.
Oh, geez.
So he brings it in. Every time he comes in our parking lot, he's going like 60, no matter what he's driving. So he flies in the parking lot, pulls the e-brake. This guy, he doesn't look at all like I think he would, because he drives like that, wherever he's going. He's just always driving like that. He doesn't look like a guy that would drive like that. But so he comes to get the car. He's kind of like a shorter, older guy. Anyway, he comes to get in the car, and I'm like, that guy doesn't look like I imagined he would. And he gets in it, and it's the end of the day, so we're like shutting the doors, and I go over to the door out front before I pull it down to shut it, and I'm waiting for him because I know he's going to do something. And he goes out into the parking lot, and he's kind of rolling, and he just dumps the clutch and burns them all the way out to the road. Just smokes them. And I was like, that's why I was waiting to shut this door, because I knew something was going to happen.
My neighbor out here, he has a Willys pickup truck, an old Jeep Willys pickup he built, and it's on like an S10 frame, and it's got like a 350 in it. It's pretty, it's Hillbilly Deluxe. But so I'm out here the other day. I think I was starting those bricks or something, and he drives by with his grandson in the truck, and he looks at me. He gets the stop sign, and he just dumps it, and he goes all the way down the highway, probably 200 yards, leaving 2 big black marks, and the Steph's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, it was a burnout. Somebody doing a burnout. She's like, who was that? You should call the cops. I'm like, no way. He's cool. That's the neighbor guy. He's awesome.
I would have done the same thing.
I was like, yeah, I definitely would do that if I had that truck.
I'm kind of sad I got a car I can't do burnouts with. It's with the all-wheel drive, but oh well, it'll save me tires and breaking the transmission and stuff. But
apparently it won't save you engines.
Did I ever tell you that I did a donut in an airplane on the runway?
No, you didn't tell me you did a donut in an airplane on a runway.
I told Laura that when we were taking off. I was like, I did a donut in an airplane on a runway before. So when we won that Chicago race in 2017, and we got back in the plane and we were going to fly back to Denver, the pilot pulls out to the runway and he turns real slow. You know how they turn like, and he gets like ready to go, and then he's like, I don't remember what he said, but it victory donut or something. So he just did like all the way around, and then he took off.
Awesome.
Which was cool. That's probably never happened again in my lifetime.
That's pretty cool.
It's one of those things you don't always get a chance to do. I don't know. I don't think I got much else. I don't know if they're awake yet. It's almost 2:00.
Dang.
Man, I gotta go to freaking work tomorrow. My watch is broken. It's been like 2 weeks, and they're just like giving me the runaround, like, "Hey, try this. Hey, try this." And then
I hate that.
I said, like, all right, please understand that contacting customer service is my last resort. That means I've tried everything that I can find on the internet to do. I've pushed all the buttons. I've factory reset it multiple times. I've done all the stuff. Now I'm calling you to report that I've done everything. Now, if it's under warranty, send me a new one. If not, then I guess there's nothing you can do. But
yeah, I hate that. They're like, oh, try a factory reset. Try a factory. I've done this 3 times. Like, oh, try it one more time. And they take you like a day and a half to get back to you, and you're like, I hate you. I hate you all.
Their latest thing was charge it up all the way and then wear it and then sync it like 5 times a day. And then when it gets to like 0, like it's not responsive, to let them know when that happens. So my button doesn't work anymore. So this button turns the screen on. Oh, there it goes. And it's also supposed to like go back to the time. And you're supposed to be able to hold it down and do other stuff. It doesn't do anything. So like I can't even see the time anymore. It's not tracking my heart rate. It's not tracking my sleep. So I charged it Friday. I put it on at about 8:00 at night. So that was
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. Today's Monday, and it's at like 20%. So, whoa. That's funny because I heard him, but I didn't see anybody. I was like, what just happened?
The motorcycle went by.
You just got hit by an airplane or something.
Airplane bomber run.
Oh, there were all these airplanes that were flying over Denver last week or 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, I seen that. We had 2 F-16s down here. It was awesome.
They were supposed to be like 20 of them, or I thought they were all gonna be together. I was like, oh, it's gonna be awesome, but there was like 2, and then there was 4, and then one time there was about 12, and they were these old prop planes.
Ones.
Yeah, and they went past the shop, and then they started dumping smoke out the back. But then we couldn't really see them because they were too far, and there's buildings and stuff. But there's it seems like there's like 2 Apache helicopters that go by within like an hour from each other, every once in a while. Those are pretty cool.
They were supposed to do that today on the Western Slope, some National Guard helicopter training mission, something. I don't know. Obviously, I made it to Silverton and back.
I've been seeing a lot more. We saw 2 black helicopters fly over the park today while we were out there. Which, they're every once in a while because we're close to the Air Force Base, but the last month or two, it seems like there's been a lot more helicopters and planes and stuff flying around over top of us than... I haven't heard the jets. Usually, like on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, there'll be like 3 of them that'll be practicing whatever they do. And I haven't heard those in a long time, actually.
I think the Rona's got everything messed up, so who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, now that I got my car, I got to do the dealer board thing. I found my note. Dealer board.
Yeah.
Well, crap. Now, if they don't pay for my bumper, I'm going to be mad.
I know.
Because... I don't know. If I turn it into the insurance company, I'm gonna have to pay the deductible, which is $500. But then I can get the bumper and I can paint it myself and put it on.
Yeah, you could probably do that for less than $500.
I could probably make a little bit of money on it.
Yeah, it's not worth having a claim though, because you could probably get a bumper cover for a few $100 for that car and paint it for less than $500, and then you wouldn't ever have to make a claim.
Yeah, I'll have to see how much the bumper is. I mean, I'll get I'll have to pay for the paint that I use and the clear I use, but
yeah.
I really don't want to go over there on a weekend and do it because I'll have to go there like early Saturday morning and then prep it and paint it and then wait for it to be dry enough, even if I bake it to be dry enough to put it on. And not put fingerprints in it with, when you put pressure on it. It's going to be like a whole day thing.
Can't you bake it and then just get it Monday morning when you come in?
Yeah, well, if I use the cheaper clear, it'll dry faster, but it'll still be like probably the next day before I'd want to handle it that much.
Well, that's what I mean. If you go in on a Saturday and spray it, just bake it, hang it in the booth overnight, and then pick it up Monday, like 20 minutes early on Monday, put your bumper in the bed of the truck or something, or out of the way in the corner. They're not going to be too worked up about that, are they?
No, yeah, as long as I do it and not, make a big deal. I suppose I could paint it on a Saturday and then bring the car, take the car apart and put it on whenever. I wouldn't have to do it all in the same day, but...
Yeah, just hide it in the corner. I'm sure there's a corner somewhere you can hide a bumper cover for a week, come in the next Saturday and boom, boom, or even stay late and pull the cover off one night, put the cover on another night, break it up into smaller pieces. So what? You don't have a bumper cover for a day or two.
I'm sure. Well, I want to do the front one too because it's all chipped to hell, but that's going to take longer because I'm going to have to sand that one and fix all the chips and stuff. Yeah. What was I going to say? Shit, I lost my mind.
Even if you pull the bumper cover and you wanted to do the hood too, right? Because the hood was kind of chipped up as well.
Yeah, and I'd like to do the fenders because the fenders got chips on them, but I wouldn't have to. I mean, I wouldn't have to do them all at the same time.
Yeah, but if you pulled all those parts and just left the car in front of your house and put all the parts in the truck and then went and did it on a Saturday and then picked them up on a Monday, because you have been driving the truck, you could put the fenders on one night and put the bumper on another night and out of your house, couldn't you?
The problem is I don't have many tools here. I've got like a few sockets and a few wrenches, but I was even trying to put the battery in my car, and I was missing the one wrench I needed, and then I was missing the one socket. So then you had to use a like a 3/8 with an extension. It didn't have enough. So, I don't know. It's just I don't have the extensions. I just don't have all of the things I need, and it's just a huge pain. Yeah, I can do it. I just don't want to do it. What I was going to say is that bumper cover is probably more expensive because it's the R1 and the exhaust tips are in the center instead of on the sides.
Oh, it's different. Okay.
So it probably costs more, I imagine, than a GTI or a regular one would.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what they say. I haven't got an email yet. I'm sure they're not open today.
No, not service anyway.
I'm not really worried about it. I just want it to be taken care of eventually. Like, it doesn't need to be done today.
Yeah, but you want them to be like, oh, we'll take care of it. You can be like, oh, well, this is a body shop I work at.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and send the money here. Oh.
Well, and if they were like, yeah, we'll pay for it, pick your body shop, and we'll just tell them, hey, I'm having it done at this body shop, the one you work at, and maybe that'll cover all your paint costs for the other pieces too, the bumper and the paint costs.
Paint's so expensive. Cool. I can't believe how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually wearing this shirt. It says Bleak Creek. I didn't even realize today until I started talking about when we were driving back. We got this book, so when I got Laura those Amazon Bluetooth earbuds, she got a 30-day free trial to Audible. Not a sponsor. And this book, The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek, that the Good Mythical Morning guys made, that I watch on YouTube. I watch a show called Good Mythical Morning on YouTube, and the guys that do that wrote this novel like a year or two ago, and I've been wanting to listen to it, but they don't have it at the library free one. They only have it on ones that you pay for, like Audible. So we got it, and we got to listen to it. And this is the shirt. I just wanted the shirt because it's cool and it changes color, but it just happens to be that book. So we got that book and listened to it. It was a pretty good book. I don't know. I have trouble paying attention to stuff I find lately. Like, especially, it was raining for a few hours in Iowa, like pretty hard. And there were cars and semis and I couldn't see, and it was loud, and the book was on, and I'll just find like an hour later, I'm like, I don't have any recollection of anything that happened in this book for the last hour.
Yeah, white line fever. Yeah, I know the feeling.
So I missed a lot of it, but I kind of got like the gist of the story, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to books much anymore. I think it was so hard to drive the truck with these in. So it's kind of like you're driving and you almost can't hear anything that's going on, and you got words going in your ears, and you're trying to chase it to keep it on the road. And then I find I get to work and I'm like, I don't know I didn't hear anything in my book.
Yeah, you're not paying enough attention.
There's too much stuff going on. But now maybe that I got my car back, it'll be easier. Maybe I can actually remember what I'm listening to.
Yeah, I do that sometimes, listening to podcasts and stuff. I'm like, wait, I gotta go listen to that one again. What were they talking about? Who was that?
I can usually, it's weird. I can usually comprehend that stuff. Maybe because it's more interesting. Like if they're talking about something I'm interested in, I can pay attention better. But if it seems like it's just if I'm just listening to a book, maybe I'm just not that interested in the book and I should get another one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Like, some interviews I'm definitely like, oh yeah, that's awesome, I'm listening to it. And then some interviews I'm like, wait, it's over? What were they talking about? I never even heard, they were supposed to have so-and-so on. And then I go back and listen to it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was just really boring. Never mind.
Speaking of interesting podcast. Joe Rogan had this lady, nutritionist lady on, and she talked
Yeah.
about vitamins and stuff that you should be taking, and that like some crazy number, like 70% of the people in the US are vitamin D deficient because we're inside so much. And then especially people with darker skin, they're from closer to the equator. So their skin, the melanin blocks a lot of the vitamin D.
Yeah.
So like say you move to a place that has less sun and you have darker skin, then you're getting even less vitamin D. Anyway, she said that something like 98% of the COVID deaths were vitamin D deficient people. And then something like 40% were vitamin D insufficient. So they weren't super deficient, but they didn't have enough. So it has like some type of direct correlation to vitamin D. So she talks about the vitamins and stuff that you should be taking and ones that she thinks might help fight it off. Like not for like a cure, but to help your body, help your immune system.
Yeah. I get lots of vitamin D because I love being outside. So I think I'm good.
I find that I don't go outside very often because 5 days a week, I just go from the house to the car and then the car into work. And then I'm at work. I'm in a building all day. And then I come home and I go to bed. But I'm like,
well, you got to get out more. You need to buy a Chevy Colorado Bison and come four-wheeling and we'll go outside all the time.
oh yeah, we talked briefly about that when we were driving back because I think that these last couple days I took off were the end of my vacation days that I've built up so far this year. So I can take days off. I just won't get paid for them. Well, I suppose especially with the coronavirus stuff going on, are trails like places that we were talking about going earlier? Is that those still places we can go?
Ish.
Kinda.
Somewhat. I went to Silverton the other day and I went four-wheeling. And they're getting more open now. Stuff will be opening. We're coming up to Loveland in August sometime. We'll be up there for like 3 or 4 days. There's the Overland Expo, so we'll be up there. I really don't have enough vacation to do anything else because my folks are coming in July. We're doing that in August. And then next year, I'm going to announce it here, we're doing a trip. My buddy's supposed to get married in August. He pushed that back to June of next year for the corona. Mm-hmm. So we're going to drive to Tampa, and then we're going to drive to Key West and do the southernmost point.
Whoa.
And we're going to take a boat to Dry Tortugas National Park and camp there for a night on an island by ourselves. And then we're going to drive all over and back to Colorado. So we're going to the southernmost point, and eventually we want to go to the northernmost point in, the North Slope of Alaska. Now I can't think of it.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. The oil port up there. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But, yeah, we're going to do the northernmost at some point, too. But, we're going to do that next year. So I got to save my vacation for that because it's like 2.5 weeks.
Whoa.
Driving.
Oh man, we even drove in 2 days, 2 separate times to drive from Illinois to Colorado, and it's still like, oh my god, how are we not there yet?
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's like 18 hours to Houston or something. I don't know. It's like 2 really long days to get to Tampa. Like 14, 15-hour days back to back. And then you stop in like Shreveport, Louisiana. And it's mostly interstate driving just to get there, do the wedding Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll start headed down to Key West. Probably take 2 days to get to Key West, get down to Everglades National Park, check that out, and then drive the Keys, get to Key West. Uh-oh, my battery's dying.
Oh.
Get to Key West, and then... yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be a hell of a trip, though.
I want to go to Louisiana, and I want to go to Alaska, and I want to go to Maine.
Get you a turkey truck and you can come with, and we'll go camping. And all you need is a big, expensive car payment and a rooftop tent.
It's no problem.
You can do it. No problem.
Oh, so I was talking about how bad the suspension is on the truck, how bad it rides, and to somebody, and they said, well, when you do the restoration on it, just put like air ride on it. And I was like, that's not a bad idea, because I want to have an air compressor anyway. I don't want it to be able to slam it or carry, a lot of weight or anything. I just want it to ride nicer. It's all.
Well, if we don't have override springs on everything, it'll probably start riding nicer.
The springs are weird though. Like they're super hard, but when you put a little bit of weight on them, they squat pretty fast.
Yeah, because they're shit.
Shit.
They're 30 years old and they're shit.
Yeah, they are. I wonder if the guys building that truck at the factory 30 years ago thought it would still be an everyday driver in 30 years.
No.
They're just like, someone's going to buy this thing, drive it for 10 years and still driving it.
Still driving. Truck though. All right, my phone's getting really mad. I gotta go.
Yeah, I think I need to go see what my family's doing. And I got to put the pork tenderloin in the crock pot it's been cooking in only barbecue sauce all night. And this morning I pulled it, so it's pulled pork, and I stirred it all up, and it's just been cooking since like 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. Since I pulled it, so we're gonna go eat that probably right now.
Go eat that. Go hang out with your family. Have a good rest of Memorial Day. Thanks everybody for watching. This is episode 21, 22.
It's 21. I don't think I'm counting the time lapse thing as an episode because it's just like a 9-minute thing, and I thought it'd be cool because we've been covering my car stuff here.
Yeah.
And it's
the
just
return.
Yeah, the return of the car.
Do you name your cars?
No, and I don't know what to call it. I should call it like freaking Karen or something because it costs so much trouble.
Yeah, it is. Don't talk to your manager.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Right?
Before my phone dies, I sold Jenna.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
I have no more Jeeps. I'm so sad about it.
All gone.
I'm not a Jeep owner. Still a Chevrolet owner, so that's cool. But
is that the one that you wait? When did you get that one?
That was the one I borrowed your truck to put a motor in.
This is back in the day.
Yeah, I had it for like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably been almost 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I had for 7 or 8 years. The white one I sold to my first Jeep. I sold to Chadwick Tompkins, who's been on here, and I sold my Comanche and I sold my XJ. I have no more Jeeps. I'm really sad. So if anybody wants to donate a Jeep, get on our Patreon.
Yeah. Donate Jeeps for custom builds.
Or just for me to look at and
if it's
say, someday I'm going to fix that.
Well, yeah, 50 years from now when it's like halfway sunk in the ground. Oh man, I wish I could have taken a picture of it. In Dover, Illinois, we were just driving through. They've got like these cars, actual real cars they put in their lawn, and they painted them up to look like the cars from the movie Cars. And cool. They got like a tow truck. There's a car like at least halfway stuck in the ground, and the tow truck is hooked to it like it's pulling it out. And there's like a Lightning McQueen one and the blue cool. girl one. They weren't the actual it wasn't the girl one wasn't a Porsche, but it was painted blue and had eyes on the front of it and stuff. Is pretty cool.
That's all that matters. All
right, I'm gonna go see my family, and we'll talk to you next time. And yeah.
All right, man. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We'll catch you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Like, hit the bell, subscribe.